I say it this way: a good sourcing strategy needs to recognize political ramifications, which we now learned as a result of COVID, as well as what's going on with Ukraine, and China. We've understood the disruption on a global scale. We were calling this out in 2009. Target, to its credit, is doing a great job of looking at global placement where the political risks or the supply lead times might be create a risk for us. So we're doing a good job, but we were not looking at domestic. We didn't realize that domestic should be looked at again. Domestic manufacturing is not necessarily more efficient than overseas manufacturing, but because it is domestic, we can go into the factories and see for ourselves how things are done. And so I'll come back to that in just a moment. But system wise, we also have the issue that whatever PLM system we would be using, we write down in a PLM system what our design objectives are, what our fit criteria are, what our trim standards or fabric standards would be. We made an assumption that the more detail we put in there, the greater the likelihood of getting what we wanted. What we didn't realize or didn't take into account was that when it went to China, for example, who was, world's largest trading partner, that they were translating it in sometimes 2 or 3 different times, depending on where the work was going. And we wouldn't necessarily know whether they were reading what our intent was originally, and we wouldn't know whether what we were getting was anywhere close to what we asked for. So again, domestically, you don't have that problem when you're talking to someone in your native language and their native language is the same language, easier to get what you want. So we realize that systems alone don't necessarily assure that clear communication is happening. And so again, it's sort of pushed back into, well, why are we looking at domestic labor, domestic resources?